Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of my course vlogs. This time we're back out here at Rustic Canyon Golf Course out here in Moorpark, California, and we're playing the back nine today. If you haven't caught the front, it's in the link in the description below. It is well worth a visit. Drone views from this golf course are incredible, and down here on the ground it is just as good. One of the best golf courses in all of Southern California. You won't want to miss this. Let's head on out there to the 10th hole, a par 5 up the hill. Here we go. Now the long walk from the clubhouse to the 10th tee really sets the tone for the back nine here, as you're really out here in the wilderness, feeling it even more so than the front nine. The 10th hole starts off much like the front nine with a big wide open fairway. That little pot bunker on the right and that big waste bunker on the left are going to come into play for the longer hitters off the tee. Myself included, I might need to throttle back here with a 3-wood unless I can perfectly place a drive down the right-hand side. Coming into the green, you're going to be blind. Coming over that waste bunker, everything is a little bit elevated to give you no look at the green. But coming in here, there's no bunkers really to contend with around the green. This is a very long, oval-shaped green. I believe it's about 50 yards long in total. And today we're facing a back hole location. Now I caught this drive right down the middle, and unfortunately I ran out of fairway right into the waste bunker and thankfully not up into the fescue. I had a shot at it, but I just had to play a 9-iron here to get it up and over that little clump of grass, laying myself back here to a 7-iron distance into this long par 5. Was able to leave the ball underneath the hole for the birdie putt, but as with most of the putts here today, the greens were rolling a little bit slower than normal, and I just couldn't get the ball to the hole on most of my putts. A comfy tap-in par to start the back nine, and we stay at 2 under par and head here to one of the coolest par 4s on the golf course. Number 11, straight over the big wash off the tee for the blues and the black tees. The whites and the forward tees are off to the right-hand side. Right over that fairway bunker that you see cut next to the grass is a good target for you out into this giant pasture of a fairway. Now coming into the green, a natural bunker cut right out of that waste area to the left guards the entire left-hand side of the approach and especially the green. This is a big, deep bunker about 6 to 8 feet down there on the left, and something you want to avoid. You see all the chipping area off to the right, that is your bail. Now talking about a bail, this shot went dead to the right. I was petrified of turning it over to the left, and so I just sent it well on off to the right, over here onto the 12th fairway. Luckily, there's nothing in my way to get to the hole. Lasered it here at 170, perfect 8-iron, and I just tugged it a little bit here and was able to get it caught up in the rough up on top of the bunker. A big, long chip shot here. I got to play this ball on the ground and play the contours of this golf course, which are really severe. And I was able to get this one down there to a comfy gimme par by my friends, and we're on to the drivable par 4 12th. Just like the 3rd hole on the front nine, this is a 335-yard par 4 that you can go for as it's heading back down the canyon slope. Adjusted with the hill, I'd say it's about 310 from the black tees. Now, I've hit my driver here in the past, and it's not worked out for me, as beyond the green is a big, deep hollow, and it's cut super tight just like the green, and it's a near impossible up and down. Short here is the play, especially with that front left hole location. I want to leave this ball short of the pin. A smooth 3-wood off the tee, playing the big draw with that gigantic fairway out there to deal with. Just a little bit short of the green, but a simple bump and run up the front edge of the green here to a makeable birdie distance, but all the putts ultimately have to roll in. Easily the weakest part of my game is this flat stick. I'm going to have to figure it out here in 2022. I'm looking to get a lot more putts to drop, and we'll see these scores come even deeper under par. The par 5 13th hole, the last hole we're going to see heading back up the canyon slope. Playing 582 yards, and with the hill, it's easily 600 yards from the tips. It is a little bit easier of one of the par 5s here on the golf course. I guess the 17 rating is appropriate. That center line little pot bunker is your target off the tee. If you hit it, well, you hit a dead perfect shot right down the middle. Just try to avoid it a little bit on the left or the right. You see the natural bunkers cut on the left and the right coming in with the approach shot. And this green here is one of the best on the golf course. It was the first one built by the architects and is shaped here as a boomerang around that pot bunker. And just looking to turn this drive over a little bit, I lost it just a little bit to the right of the pot bunker, but there's so much fairway out here, it's easy to find the green grass. A long way left though up the hill, 280 yards adjusted with the hill, but a smooth 3-wood just like the 12th hole. I just mimicked that tee shot, flushed it right in the middle of the green, and I had 20 feet for eagle. I'm just teasing these eagle putts. Every single time I see it, I just can't get it to the hole. A comfy tap-in birdie, and we're on to my favorite golf hole here at Rustic Canyon. The par 4 14th plays as a gigantic dogleg over the biggest part of the wash here at the top of the property, playing just a little bit downhill off the tee. Those cluster of trees on the left-hand side are about 300 yards to clear with your drive, about 310 to get it all the way to the fairway. Otherwise, take it right of those trees out into the fat of the fairway, and this hole will play a ton of its distance. Coming into the green, it's just a little bit downhill, not too much to adjust for, but the hole will bounce into the green. All that slope there is finally coming downhill just in front of the green. A front left hole location today is devilish with that canyon bunker on the left-hand side. Now I flushed this drive right into the sun and over the trees, and at this point, life happened. I got a phone call from back home and learned that a good friend of mine had tragically passed away. And I still had 4.5 golf holes to play. So I stood over the shot, realizing that it's just a little white ball. Just gotta hit it. Not all golf shots are created equal, and not all days are meant to be fantastic. This day unfortunately turned very sour for me very quickly, and I was out here at, truthfully, my favorite golf course in the region, and just had to deal with some emotions that I've never had to deal with while playing golf. It's just life, and sometimes you just have to move on and keep on walking. Nothing I can do but just keep on hitting the ball, keep on chasing Whitey around, and hope for the best. I guess that's a comfy tap-in bogey here on my favorite hole, and we're on to a very, very difficult par 3 heading right back up the hill. Only 145 yards, but it plays to a 3-tiered green, and today's back hole location is the most treacherous of them all. That bunker on the left is a deep 6-foot canyon bunker, and you really need to be on the correct tier to have any sort of a makeable putt on this green. A total of 160 yards to get it all the way back there. That's a flushed 9-iron for me, and ultimately I kinda did get it up on the back tier. I had a little bit of slope to deal with here for the birdie putt, but it was 35 feet away, and I just tried to cozy it on down there. Couldn't quite read the break right, and ultimately 6 feet for par. You got to make these putts to keep the rounds going, especially to keep them under par. But it just wasn't meant to be, and back-to-back bogeys, heading on down to the 16th hole, which, according to the architect Gil Hans, he found naturally here in this canyon. It's a beautiful place up here in Moorpark. If you haven't visited already, it's a must play on a trip out here to Los Angeles. Heading right over the tee box, down the middle of this saddle fairway. It's going to be a funnel from the left and the right sides right back into the middle. And it's such a dramatic downhill that it really doesn't play true to the 480 yards. Into the green, you're going to have to avoid the natural bunker that's cut in from the right. It's going to carve on in there. And the defense on this green is the left and far sides of the green. Big slopes are cut into it. And if you go any bit long, you're going to have about a 6 to 7 foot slope facing right in front of you to chip back up. Another smooth driver off the tee. This one was a little bit pushed, but I knew the fairways out there were very wide today. Coming on down into the green, you're going to have a funky lie here. I couldn't even get the camera level behind me. And because the ball was above my feet, I tugged it to the left. No way I could focus over these shots anyway. And just trying to get up and down here for another par and to get off the bogey train. I want to come home and have somewhat of a decent score at the end. 25 feet for par, though, is not ideal, and we just have to make a smart putt here to avoid the 3-putt and avoid the double bogey. Now the 17th here is the last par 3 of the day, and heading downhill off this elevated tee box, the blacks, blues, and whites are all up there and need to be adjusted for the hill just slightly. Avoiding all the natural bunkers there on the right, your bailout is clearly to the left-hand side, and today's front hole location is going to bring all the trouble into play. Now another pushed iron shot for me here. I just couldn't find it hitting it straight today, especially here at the end of the day. My brain just definitely wasn't in it. I was able to just get the camera out wide enough to get the shot here, and was able to really hit a fantastic bunker shot down with my 59-degree lob wedge, tapping out on in with the wedge for the comfy tap in par, and we can head on into the 18th hole sitting even par and having a chance to close it out well. That tree line down the left is the edge of the driving range. Is going to play hard against the side of this hole, as is the canyon down the right-hand side. That wash will swallow up any golf balls you hit into it. A very narrow driving area is finally going to be protected coming into the green by these 2 approach bunkers on the left-hand side. And heading into the green, this is dramatically downhill, a good 5 to 7 yard adjustment from the middle of the fairway down into this green. And the green sits sloping away from you. All shots are going to bounce through this green. Make sure you land it short, especially with this back hole location sitting right in the middle of this little spine of the green. It shares with the putting green, so you do get a good gauge of how the greens are rolling at the beginning of the day. But man, this 18th green is severe. A beautiful sunset and a beautiful drive right down the middle of the 18th hole, ending up just here on the right-hand side and avoiding the bunker. A smooth 150 yards into the green here. I just want to get this shot hole high to have myself a making chance at birdie and definitely a comfortable par. And as you can see, it was really, really dark. I wanted the hole out because I don't like putting with the flag in. And I just had to cozy this one down the hill into the little spine of the green, and I couldn't quite get it all the way there. But ultimately, you just got to tap them all in, especially when you have no idea if it's going left or right. Oh, golf. Thank you all for joining. We'll see you next time. Later.